My name is Mike Neely. I'm the business manager here at the Hartford Local 35. I want to introduce next Mike Downey, Senator Chris Murphy's his office.
Thank you so much, Michael. I'm Mike Allen, Senator Murphy's Outreach Director. He wishes that he could be here today, but is in Washington. He has cared so much about the Hartford Courthouse project, and I have a statement from him on the building of the courthouse. So, building a new courthouse is a massive project that will create hundreds of jobs in Hartford. This decision is a huge win, and I'm grateful for my colleagues and their partnership in making sure the workers are paid livable wages and working on sites that are safe. So thank you so much. This is a great win. And next, I'm going to turn it over to Yolanda Rivera from the Building Trades Council Institute.
Good morning, everyone. I want to thank everybody or everyone that is present here today. The Connecticut State Building Trades Training Institute is the apprenticeship readiness arm of the Unionized Building Trades Workforce Development System. We provide pre-employment preparation services to those interested in applying and entering unionized registered apprenticeship training programs. We serve Connecticut residents living in urban and rural areas, females, veterans, returning citizens, and young people who are juniors and seniors in comprehensive high schools. We are excited to know that there's no federal determination to require a project labor agreement for the $345 million Hartford Courthouse. This project will provide good union-paying jobs for members across the building trades and new career pathways for Connecticut residents interested in entering our registered apprenticeship training programs. We thank Congressman Larson and Senator Blumenthal, as well as other members of our congressional leadership, for their support of union jobs and union training. It's great to know that we can depend on our elected leaders and members of the Connecticut State Building Trades Council, Joe and others, and to push for policies that continue to create and support union jobs and union training to promote and prepare a skilled workforce in the construction field and to always strengthen, what we do here in our great state of Connecticut.
I'm the executive director for the Connecticut State Building Trades. Today's a great day. It's been since 2017 when this job was advertised by GSA. That what we did in the Hartford Building Trades was we reached out to our champions, our federal delegation, to ask them to help ensure that a project labor agreement would be done on this job. In 2017, we reached out to Senator Blumenthal and Congressman Larson's office, and what they did was they got Senator Murphy involved. Within a week, we had a letter from our federal delegation promoting the use of a project labor agreement on this project in Hartford. That speaks for itself. Within 7 days, a letter went down to Washington, D.C. promoting a project labor agreement, making sure that folks working on these projects not only have jobs, but careers in the unionized construction industry. That's what happened. And I will say this, we do project labor agreements nearly exclusively in Hartford. And I know the mayor's here, and we're honored to have the mayor here this morning. And on these projects that we do in Hartford, 1/3 of every construction worker is a Hartford resident. We plan on using that same template on the federal courthouse to make sure that Hartford residents have an opportunity to work in their community. Just numbers. The size of the project, of how much money is going to be recirculated to the members, our members that are Hartford residents. Over $20 million in wages and benefits are going to be earned by Hartford residents due to this determination. That is absolutely to the plan that our mayor in Hartford has in home ownership and making sure people are able to stay in Hartford, raise their children in Hartford, and have strong communities. So we're happy that this determination was made. I will say this, from day one, between Senator Blumenthal's office and Congressman Larson's office, they jumped on it and they were steadfast in helping us deliver this project. And I'd like to also recognize within their offices is Rich Keogh for Senator Blumenthal and Connor Quinn for Representative Larson's office. I could be a little bit of a pain. I'm a little bit pushy at times, especially when it comes to making sure we have jobs for our members. And every step of the way, those folks and the senator and the congressman stepped up every single time. This has been making for 9 years, since 2017. And along the way, we've been jumping every hurdle and checking every box. And most recently, thanks to the help of Mayor Ratlan, we were able to bring it over the top. Within the last year, more of the questionnaires came out and more determinations were being made. And behind the scenes, the mayor was pushing for a project labor agreement with the folks that work in the federal courthouse. There was other meetings being had, and project labor agreements were being described, and questions were being answered. So we appreciate the help that you did, Mayor, also. We didn't have a push on both sides, right? And once the mayor came in, we had a push from the mayor and the federal delegation. So we appreciate it. We appreciate the determination. We appreciate that GSA recognizes that project labor agreements are good for the city of Hartford, but quite frankly, project labor agreements are good for the state of Connecticut, right? We know what they do. We know that helping disadvantaged people, non-traditional people, veterans, and providing careers, not jobs, not going on a job site and picking up trash for 3 months saying that you're on a project. These are actual careers that we're generating. And in closing, I would like to thank Senator Blumenthal, Congressman Larson, Senator Murphy for their commitment, not only to the building trades, but to every union member in the state of Connecticut. They have been phenomenal with us since the minute they went to DC. They continue to be good with us. There's never, ever a phone call that's not returned. They never, ever refuse to stand with us under any condition. And it shows how great this federal delegation that we have in Connecticut is to not just us in the building trades, but to everybody. So thank you. And at this time, I'd like to introduce Mayor Ratlan from the city of Hartford.
Thank you so much, Joe. That was very kind. And thank you to all of you who are here fighting for yourselves and your members, fighting for good paid union jobs. $345 million is going to be spent on building a beautiful courthouse, and it's going to require a lot of skilled laborers, a lot of folks who have incredible skills in the work that they do. And when you have that level of skill, you should be able to afford your housing. You should be able to afford your groceries and your health care. You may be a laborer, but like Joe, you might have a kid who's got an Ivy League future. You should be able to afford to pay for their college. It's a simple principle that we all hold, and we all believe as Americans, as residents of this city. And that is why it is so important that on jobs like this, we have project labor agreements. And on this federal courthouse, thanks to the championing of Congressman Larson, Senator Blumenthal, Senator Murphy, and our federal delegation, and thank you to the voices of all of you. That is the case on this $345 million project. And that's huge. It means that more people can afford to buy homes in our state and certainly in our city. It means that more people can afford their health care. It means that more people can afford to live the kind of life that they should live when they're contributing so much to building our cities and our states. And it means that more people can do that in the city of Hartford. Joe said this is not just about union labor, although that is so important. It's also about the future of Hartford residents. And thanks to the building trades, and thanks to BTTI and the work that Yolanda and Diane and all of you do to make sure more and more Hartford residents have pathways in the building trades, we are seeing so many Hartford residents being able to buy their first home, being able to afford their housing, being able to have health care in these challenging times because they've been given a pathway by the building trades. And before I close, I just want to say this. It is always great to see new building, new construction coming up in our city. We need so much more housing in our city. But I am tired of driving through those sites and seeing Massachusetts plates and New York plates around those sites. We have all of the labor, we have all of the folks we need right here to rebuild our cities and rebuild our states. And we are so thankful for everything the building trades bring to the state, bring to the city of Hartford, and we'll continue to fight for them. Thank you, guys.
I guess I'm up. Joe, you are never okay.
Thank you.
We love you.
No, I won't.
I'll tell you, your wife.
That's a deal.
This picture really says it all. This picture is about the strength of our unions here in Connecticut, advocating and fighting for working men and women and their families. I am always so proud to stand with you. And believe me, Joe and all of you, we will continue to fight for you. And it's never been more important. Let's be very clear. Project labor agreement is about fairness and decency, but it's also about efficiency and peace in the workplace. It is in everybody's interest. Responsible employers want a PLA. They want a PLA for the benefit of their workers so that they get better quality. They want it for the future of the project because it increases the efficiency in the workplace. And they want it just as a matter of human decency and fairness. And that's why Joe is absolutely right. Project labor agreements are good for Hartford, they're good for Connecticut, they're good for the country. And if anybody had any doubt, who should be a responsible employer looking for fairness and decency, if not the federal government? Remember, the federal government is the one who's providing the money for this project. We as taxpayers are funding this project. We have an interest as well as an obligation to make sure that our workplaces are fair to the men and women who are out there, and believe me, they will be out there in weather as cold or colder, in the rain and the snow. They're going to be out there risking their lives on this project. This is dangerous work. Construction is still a place where injuries happen, and we need better workplace safety. The PLA is part of workplace safety and decency. I feel so strong that all of America, every construction project, every place in this great country ought to match the dedication and drive of our workers with project labor agreements. And nobody fights more for them than our unions. We should be very, very proud of our unions. Unions make us strong, and they make the American dream achievable for everyday Americans. And this project, let me say with great pride, is going to give us a new courthouse, a place where more justice can occur, a place where more access to fairness is going to be possible for people whose rights may have been violated. And we need a new courthouse. By the way, Mayor, it's $395 million. Another $50 million here or there. We'll have to find that $50 million. But we have a great champion also. I want to give a shout out to Rosa DeLauro, who hopefully will be chairman of the Appropriations Committee after November, and make sure that we have that. But finally, let me just say, I've been very proud to lead this effort with John Larson. John John is true union from the very start of his career. I've served with John in our state senate. He and I worked together there. I won't tell you how many years ago. This is really a meaningful moment for me because John really is so dedicated to working men and women in the state of Connecticut. He knows the value of a project labor agreement from years of dedication to championing the interests of working men and women. I'm proud to give you John Larson. I want to come back and say it.
Well, listen, first and foremost, what a great achievement for labor. And for that shy, shrinking Violet Joe Toner, you know, that rarely has a thing to say about anything. But, certainly Joe and my good friend Mike Grabowski and everybody here has done just a remarkable job. You know, the mayor's words were absolutely spot on. The good thing about Yolanda about going last is that everything that needs to be said has already been said, but it needs to be underscored, and particularly as it relates to PLAs. And how do we come about with PLAs? Because of labor, because of the work and what you do on the job site. And why is that important? Well, not only for all the safety reasons that you've heard everyone go through, not for the skilled workforce, but also in this day and age, as we still are coming off of a global pandemic and a global inflationary period, and at a time where there's a scarcity of work and a disparity between the people at the very top and people in the middle and in the bottom. That's when project labor agreements and labor, because not only for the training and the skill, and not simply a job, as Joe was pointing out, and Mike Grabowski often reminds me, but of a career with skilled individuals who deliver. And by being part of the union movement, they are also engaged in the health care that is provided through the negotiations of our labor unions, and also the pensions that have been negotiated as well. And I can tell you they're all hearty supporters of Social Security as well, and making sure that every American is covered and compensated. We have a tremendous delegation. I can't thank Senator Blumenthal and Senator Murphy enough. We were proud to lead letters, and we were especially proud to see that it had a direct impact and was cited in this instance. But it's not our letter. It's your work. It's your effort that was proven time and time again. We have a great example in Adrian's Landing, and just looking at, as Joe was saying, the projects in this area, and when there's a project labor agreement, how everybody benefits. The mayor's right. We want to make sure that that money stays here, and you heard in Joe's comments that it is, and about the number of people that are going to be hired. And what do they do with that money? They spend it right back here in the community of Hartford, in the 1st Congressional District, all across the state of Connecticut. And what does that do? That helps the entire economy, because they're spending those goods and services right back in the communities they live. That's how it's supposed to work. But to be able to stand here and say it's a project labor agreement, people know that they're going to have a secure job, but with benefits and also a skill set and safety measures that come with a PLA agreement. Our delegation, and as Dick pointed out, not only our 2 United States senators, but the entire congressional delegation. And he's right, nobody deserves credit like Rosa DeLauro, who continues to deliver, and for the first time in the history of the Union, Connecticut will have an appropriations chair when we take the House back. Everybody here, an honor to be here. $395 million is nothing to sneeze at, and it's taken time to get there. But it just shows you what can happen when we work together. And if ever there was a time to be united in working together, it's now under the current administration that we have in Washington, D.C. So this is the start. We look forward to putting our shoulder to the wheel and continue to work so that we make sure that all project labor agreements, especially on federal and governmental properties, are done with a PLA, because it's in the best interest of the individual, of the community, the state, and clearly the nation. Thank you.